what's up guys, this is Clay with Omni, and I was going to make a video today about some practical insights that I have come to gather over time that are especially important to understand going into this new energy in October of 2019. So this is kind of like an energy update, except I just didn't want to give it that label of being like an energy update because I don't want to be like, everybody else. So I wanted this to have its own little of uniqueness. So this is it, I guess. But the title, helpful insights to be aware of in the new energy. So yeah, if you guys are watching this, welcome. Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope you guys find the information helpful. If you guys do find the information helpful, please feel free to like and comment on the comment section below. And now I guess we'll get into the video. So the very first point that I have written down is a lot of patterns that I've been seeing, especially in Facebook groups and stuff. Things that I've been seeing consistently with people saying and talking about is sleep paralysis, astral projection, out of body experiences, being afraid that something, because it's always some kind of experience of fear that makes them want to wake themselves up from that. And I just wanted to bring my thoughts on it because I've had a lot of experience with this personally. So in my experience, sleep paralysis is the precursor to astral projection. So sleep paralysis, if you don't know what it is already, it is basically when you are sleeping and you will wake up and your mind is awake but your body is still asleep, and so you can't move any of your muscles, you can't move any of your limbs, you literally can't move at all. You have to wake your body up first before you can actually start to move again, because only your mind is awake at the time. And so it freaks a lot of people out, and there's a lot of experiences purported that people have freaky things happen to them in that window of time, people are chasing after them, or it's always usually some kind of dream scenario playing out that has some underlying fear based theme with it. And my theory on what that is and why there's fear and why it makes you want to wake yourself up every single time, it's because you're literally about to go into the space where you have the potential to leave your body, and then once you leave your body, you literally can explore anything. I've done it. You can go anywhere you want just by thought alone, thinking about the places, what will take you there. And not only that, all of your vision and stuff, your senses are heightened, 4K HD high definition vision. You can see everything. So I think the universe put in a safety net kind of to keep people who probably shouldn't be astral projecting, either because they don't need to be doing it because they are too young or whatever, or they're just not mature enough, or they don't have the consciousness for it. Things like that. But I think it's just a way of keeping them from doing that, and that's a safety net for the universe to keep people that only are mature enough with the wisdom to understand that that section of fear is actually something that you shouldn't be afraid of at all. And I'll explain why. So when you're going into sleep paralysis, what I used to do is I would settle in. Well, when I found this out the very first time, it was terrifying because I didn't know that it was okay to just let everything that was happening in that dream happen, because it felt so real. But I did one time, and there was some person chasing after me, and they were going to kill me. And so instead of continuing to run, I stopped, and I allowed whatever was coming after me to come after me and kill me. And the moment that I did that, and it was clear that I wasn't going to fight it, it ran, like, it's almost like it disappeared. And along with the negative imagery and stuff like that disappeared, also, like, the fear, the feelings of fear went away, like that. So that was, like, crazy. So I experimented with this a couple times, and over time I've come to understand that it's just like it's just a phase of this whole process of astral projection, and you have to be brave enough to just let go, surrender to the moment, and let whatever's going to happen. Because everything that's in that dream, it's not real. It might feel real at the time. You might even know that you're in the dream and that it's not real, but it still feels so real that you don't want to let anything happen to you, so you wake yourself up just in case. But you'll never be able to astral project if you do that, unless it happens like spontaneously or whatever, which is more rare. And so learning how to settle into it is really, really, really helpful. One thing that I've used is my breath to settle into it. So, like, kind of like meditation does, I will use my breath as an anchor to anchor me through the negative dream parts, the scenes that are going on in the dream that are just terrifying, that are making me want to wake myself up. The fact that I'm in sleep paralysis and that I can't move any of my body, that freaked out feeling, I use my breath to anchor me and calm me down through that. And then after you get through those two parts, the fear will dissipate, and you will notice an electrical type feeling on your spine, and it's like almost like your spine will start to vibrate. And then if you allow it, and you allow the feeling to grow, it will grow, and it will sorry, there's background music playing. That feeling will grow, and the vibration will actually become audible. Like, you'll be able to hear it so loud that you will swear, like, oh my god, why is people not awake right now, coming downstairs to wonder what the fuck is going on? Why is that sound taking place? But actually, it's all in your head. Nobody outside of you can hear that vibrational sound except for you. So, if that's a little crazy and trippy, I think, but the vibration sensation you'll start to feel on your spine, and it'll be at the base of your spine, and it'll go all the way up to the base of your skull, and it'll get so intense, the vibration, that you'll literally feel like a cell phone that's being called, and you're on vibrate, and that you'll feel like a vibrating cell phone. Like, I shit you not. Quite literally. And it kind of is freaky at first, I'm not going to lie. But if you can understand what's happening, then it makes it so much easier to kind of let unfold. Because what is fear? Fear is essentially things that you're afraid of, or things that you don't know about, things that are unknown to you. So the unknown is fearful. So if you become knowledgeable about that unknown subject, then what's there to fear? I mean, you still have the initial, like, jitters when it comes to your very first time doing something, but it makes the transition a lot more smooth than it would be if you had no idea about anything going into this. But nothing to be afraid of. There's no evil spirits trying to capture your soul. It's not demons. It's not it might be astral beings. I don't know for sure. I'm only speaking off my experience, because that's all that I can really tell you from a place of truth, is things that I've experienced personally. But Any kind of astral being doesn't matter, because you're living, they're not. So, like, the chances of being born are 1 in 400 trillion. So if you can find an astral being that can defeat or kill a living, divine human being that was born on Earth with a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being born, you let me know, because I want to meet and see that being. Anyway, I'll move on to the next topic. This is just a quick one. It's dropping of karma. Yes, I said it. You can drop your karma. Karma is an old energy system. It was needed back in the day when people were unaware of consciousness in general and the awakening spirituality of their own spirituality. People needed that to push them and pull them in the right directions, because they would not have gone to those places otherwise. But now, since humanity has evolved since then, karma is still active, and if you believe in it, it will still be a part of your life, and it will still push and pull you. But you won't have the freedom of kind of creating the reality that you're wanting to create so badly if you still have your karma controlling every aspect of your life. So what you can do is break it. You can break your karma. It's possible. And you break your karma through conscious, pure intent with an elevated emotion. So, like, cognizing the fact, and what I mean by the word cognize basically means to cement an understanding of something in your mind. So, like, it's like second nature to you. So, understanding that karma is no longer needed, that you don't need it to guide you and push you and pull you around anymore, that you can navigate your own life on your own, and that you are consciously making the decision to break the chain of karma for you. It won't break the chain of karma for your family, but it'll break the chain of karma for you, and it will be recorded in your Akashic record also. So in the next lifetime, you will not have any karma. You'll come in karma clear. So that was just something I wanted to throw in as the second topic. The third one is why people are feeling so sensitive right now and feeling so out of sorts, so lost, so emotional, so lonely, isolated, and stuff like that. And it's because the consciousness shift, if you're not aware of what we're going through right now, is an awakening of consciousness in which Source is rediscovering itself through the concept of duality, so polar opposites. And we are in this shift right now as we speak. And so the duality is getting so thick that the extremes, like a rubber band, when you pull it apart, or the extremes are getting so like strained and like pulled tight that it gives you very, very intense and heightened ups and downs. It's not like a smooth thing like it usually was. No, it's like straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. So that's why people feel like so overly sensitive. It's because your body's adjusting to the new frequency that is constantly on an everlasting raise. Because the frequency is always rising. Your frequency is always raising. People are actively trying to raise their vibration. So you can't expect to go through a consciousness shift. People say from 3D to 5D. I don't keep up with the dimensions because I honestly think once you get to 5D, it's not even worth keeping up with because there's an infinite dimensions. So to go on like romanticizing about I'm in the 7th, my friend is in the 8th dimension, and I met a 12th dimensional being who has a friend who came from the 18th dimension, and he, that kind of shit. It's not helpful at all. If anything, it just confuses everybody. especially people that don't know anything about spirituality. So you might be doing them a disservice by even talking about that type of stuff, because it could lead them down a path that's just another hamster wheel that keeps them spun out and waste their time. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But you'll notice that people, even you're affecting the people around you, or triggering the people around you, because the way that your vibration and their vibration are interacting with each other. Especially if you have a family that is not awakening alongside of you, or is not even aware or woke, then definitely your vibration will trigger theirs. Because the difference in your guys' frequencies are so different. Because if you're watching this video, I assume that you work on yourself pretty often, and you're probably pretty aware. So that dissonance in between your guys' frequencies is what's going to cause that triggering, and it will happen. And I'm sure you guys have already noticed that, but it's perfectly normal, and it will balance out over time. It doesn't last forever. Everything in life is fluid, and everything in life is moving, and it's only temporary. So hang in there, guys. It doesn't stay awful forever, and I can attest to this. I used to not even be able to leave my house, like, at all, because of my empathy was just so intense, and so my hypersensitivity was so, like, turned up all the way that, like, it was literally controlling every part of my life. I could not be around anybody, even my family members I couldn't be around, because I would pick up on all of their shit. I couldn't go into a grocery store because I would magnetize everybody's shit to me, not even realizing what I was doing. And what it was an unconscious tendency of me to tune in to my environment, and to tune in to the people that I met and the people that were around me, as a defense mechanism to make sure that the people that were interacting with me were not feeling negatively, thinking negatively about me. So it was an unconscious habit that I had to break. So if that helps any empaths out there. I guess the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video was for people that their way of making a living, even spiritual people in general, but mainly for people that make a living being like the intuitives, the mediums, the psychics, the card readers, the mentalists, the clairvoyants, those types of professions. Some of you might notice that you feel completely disconnected from source, like completely disconnected, like your connection to source is just gone. So much so that it might have been so intense of a change for you that you might now be like completely cynical, pessimistic, sarcastic, and like maybe even turn your back on God in general, or source. Turn your back on source. But I will explain why you feel that, and why you are not feeling that same oomph that you used to once feel. It's because of this consciousness shift. So as this consciousness is as the collective consciousness is rising, all of our awarenesses are being increased, all of our vibrations are being increased on a collective scale, all of our frequencies are rising. So we are like literally evolving. So the frequency is changing. There is no more return to normal. Normal does not exist. I'm sorry. Normal doesn't exist. You can't wait for something to go back to the way it was, because things will never go back to the way that they were, because that timeline no longer exists. This is a now moment that lasts forever. We're just in a constant, ever changing now moment. So past, present, and future, that's just a 3D linear way of looking at time. Time is not linear like that. Time is actually in a circle. That's why, like, deja vu, for instance, people that have deja vu, it's because that circle of time, let's see if I can explain this better with like a illustration. So like this circle of time or whatever that you are living on, an event might have happened here, and then you are going along about your life or whatever, and then you get to the same spot, and then you're like, oh my god, this feels so familiar, oh my gosh, I've been here before, I've met this person before, I've seen this before, deja vu, oh my god. It's just because you're overlapping tracks, and you're just noticing it. So it's nothing to be freaked out by. But yeah, time is in a circle, and because it's in a circle, and because the frequency is rising, and because our consciousness is increasing, it's changing a lot of different variables, one of which is our relation to Source. Before this consciousness shift started, there was a frequency that healers, intuitives, mediums, psychics all knew that they could trust, count on, and tune into without any issue whatsoever, that allowed them to facilitate and use the very gifts that have been given to them by our beautiful Creator. But if you don't have that connection anymore, then your gifts probably don't work very well, if at all. Some people might have noticed that their gifts have stopped altogether. And it's not that they've stopped, it's just that the frequency that was allowing those gifts to work, the juice that gave your abilities the power and oomph that allowed you to do what you do, it changed. And the frequency is now higher than it was. So think of like a radio dial. The frequency that we were all once used to pre-2012 is higher now. So we will have to tune ourselves, because we are transmitters and receivers of energy. Just like your cell phone is constantly sending and receiving signals, our bodies are constantly sending and receiving signals. So you have to tune your energetic dial to the new frequency. And how do you do that? Well, everybody has an innate intelligence in their body. Some people call it the smart body. It's what people use for muscle testing and kinesiology and reflexology. It's how doctors can check and see what you're allergic to. It's the thing that makes your knee hurt when you fall down, because you hit your knee on something, and that signal of pain is a message to you that says, hey, there's something going on down there. That's your innate. Innate is always balanced. Innate is always connected to Source. Innate has a part of your higher self in it. And so we can use that to help us to keep our frequencies tuned to Source through our innate, because innate's always tuned to Source. So if our innate intelligence or our smart body is always balanced and always tuned to Source, then we can, through conscious intent, conscious pure intent with an elevated emotion and possibly even repetition, because you really want to cognize this. And by cognize, I mean cement this understanding of this concept into your mind and into your being, so that you become it, and that your innate will hear it. Because some people's innate, they're so disconnected from spirit that even if they were talking to their innate wouldn't hear them. Because that's how disconnected they are. You have to build the bridge to innate before you can really start speaking to your body and your cellular structure and stuff like that to make those changes. But you can use it as a way of tuning your own vibration and frequency to that of the new frequency of source, because sources, it's not that source's frequency is changing always, because it's not. People say God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that's true. That is 100% true. The thing that changes is our relationship to that source. So that is what is causing that frequency that we need to tune to change and to constantly change all the time. So you can set an intention audibly, out loud, through like an affirmation, because I use affirmations all the time. They're probably one of the most beneficial tools that you can use right now. And not ones that you print off the internet. Make sure they're ones that have been like personalized, ones that you create yourself that fit your own unique situation. Make sure they're written in the first person. You can say them in your head, and it will work that way, but it's better if you do it out loud, because then your ears will hear it. And if your ears will hear it, there is a 3D-ness, a 3D element that gets added to that intention, so it gets vocally spoken out into the ethers. It's a vibration that's being sent out with your conscious intent in it. So it will make things happen quicker. But you just set your intention and say, like, you can even talk to your innate, like I for instance say, I would just go like, innate, tune my frequency, I'm sorry guys, I'm getting tongue twisted and I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. Okay. So if I was to do this, I would set an intention every day, and I would do this twice a day, in the morning when I wake up, and in the evening before I'm about to go to sleep, because they're the times of the day when I'm the most lucid. Especially if you're doing it, you can do it right after meditation or during meditation, that's perfect as well. But something as simple as, I understand that the old frequency that I used to always count on and tune to no longer exists. I understand that there is no more returning to normal. So I now set the intention to tune my frequency to that of my innate intelligence in my body, so that I will be tuned to the frequency of source, and I will constantly tune and retune myself with my intent each and every day. Not each and every day, but when you have that, when you're tuned to it, you can feel it. You can feel the overwhelming love and like goodness and just awesome feeling of source, because it's like so deliciously yummy. But when you start to feel that going away, it's either because you yourself are getting like out of alignment with source and your soul and your purpose and all that stuff, and that's that dissonance, that distance vibrationally is what's causing you to feel so shitty. Or it could also be because you like are needing to reaffirm to your innate intelligence that you are wanting to tune to the frequency of it. Because not only will that keep you tuned to the frequency of source, which will allow your abilities to flourish 10 times what they used to. Like guys, if you do this and you cognize this and you really put this into practice like I'm telling you to do, you will notice that your abilities aren't not the same as they used to be. They have been enhanced tenfold. Like, they might even appear to be completely different because they have been enhanced so much that they look completely different. And you guys will know metaphorically what I mean on an individual level. But not only will it keep you tuned to source, but it will keep you balanced. And that way you can be a self-balancing machine of a human being. So you don't have to rely on, like, you don't have to rely on crystals, and you don't have to rely on, like, sage, Palo Santo, holy water, crucifixes, ancient Egyptian, like, you don't have to rely on, like, props, things that you put your power into to do the work for you, because it's still you that's doing it. I don't know if you guys are aware of it or not, but even people, like, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble or offend anybody, and if I do, it's not my intent to offend anybody with anything that I say. I say all of this with love. But when you are smudging, for instance, this is Palo Santo. Shit. When you're clearing a room of energy or whatever, all this is you putting your consciousness, your power, your juice into an exterior object that you will believe then does the work for you, when actually this is just a medium for your own power to work through, and you actually don't even need it. You don't need sage, you don't need Palo Santo, you don't need crystals, you don't need holy water, you don't need any of it. Those are just crutches. But, I mean, I still like to use Palo Santo sometimes because I like the theatrics of it. I like it. And yes, I did say the theatrics of it, and I am not ashamed of that. I like crystals. I am obsessed with fucking crystals. I have no idea why I'm obsessed with them, but I fucking love them. All of them. I like props like this. Like, I like cool looking things. That's not bad. And if you guys still want to smudge and stuff like that with the way you were doing it before, that's perfectly fine. It'll work perfectly well. I'm just wanting you guys to know that, like, you don't have to do that if you guys don't want to be dependent on exterior things in order for you to use your own power. You guys are so much more powerful than you guys realize. If you guys could see the full potential of your soul, you would not be using a chopped up, rolled up pile of sticks called sage to clear negative juju out of a room, when literally all it takes is you stepping into the room to clear it, because that's how bright of a being that you are when you are in alignment with your soul, when you're living your purpose, when you're compassionate to everybody, not just the people that you want to be compassionate to, but when you're compassionate to everybody. And not only that, when you're practicing compassionate action to even to strangers, when you're meditating, when you're living your spiritual life, you're walking your spiritual path, you're broadcasting light, literally. It's invisible to your eyes, but it's there, and people will notice it. Other energies, dark, negative energies, they will notice it as well. So, what is darkness? Darkness is just the absence of light. So if you walk into a dark room, the darkness has no fucking chance. It's done for, and it has to fucking leave. Because you will be the lighthouse that lit it up. And that's helpful to the people around you too. Because, I mean, if you're in a really dark place in your life, or if you're in a really dark area of life in general, where other people are also in darkness, if one person lights a match, everyone can see a little if one person lights a match in a dark room. If one person turns on their light, other people will start to see that light. That light will be attractive, like a moth to a flame. You watch it, it'll happen. And it will be so attractive that they will actually want they will not tell you this, nor will they ever admit this to you, but they will actually want to copy you. They will want to mimic and be like you, because the light that you're emitting is so attractive, and it's so safe feeling, it's so loving, it's so inviting, that everybody wants to be around you. Everybody wants to talk to you. You can't help but make friends. You can't help but attract your tribe to you, because you're living in alignment. So guys, this is like really powerful stuff, and all of what I just spoke about, I have literally lived. My awakening started in 2011, so that all the way till now. So I know this stuff to be factual for me, truthful for me, because I understand that truth is subjective, and my truth is not necessarily going to be somebody else's truth, and I respect those other people's truths fully, just as I would hope that they would respect mine. But this is very powerful stuff to know, and very helpful stuff to know too, that could bring a lot of peace and a lot of ease and a lot of de-stressing, that could make your transition into this new energy a lot easier. So I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you guys thought it was helpful. If you did, please, it would mean a lot to me if you could go to my page, Omni, and give it a like, because it's a new page that I just started. And comment if you have any questions, or if you have like other questions that you'd like to have answered. I have services that I offer on my page, Omni, as well. Or you can even, if it's an urgent message and you really need an answer quickly, you can inbox me. My name is Clay Spencer, ClaySpencer, and you can inbox me, and I will answer any questions that anybody has, any time of day or night, 12 o'clock p.m., 3 o'clock a.m., it doesn't matter. I will help you to the best of my ability. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was valuable to you. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Namaste.